Hello, beautiful women. I hope you're doing amazing. If you don't know me, my name is Tassyane, and I had sent an email to the people on my list. And if you're not on my list, I'm going to leave a way that you can get on it. But I had sent an email inviting you all to subscribe to the channel so that we can start this book together, The Respect there. Okay, it says 40 days to a deeper connection with God and with your husband. So I'm gonna leave on the description of the video, and I'll do that each time. I'm gonna leave the link for you to buy the book and make it super easy for you. I'm going to leave the link that you can subscribe to receive emails. That way you receive emails reminding you of the videos and etc. I'm going to leave my email so that you can write me and you can make comments on the video. You can make comments on your reading, and you can make comments on whatever you want so that we can chat about it. I think that's it. Okay, so anyways, why are we doing this? Why this book? Why are we doing this? What's happening? Well, I really have a feeling that God is strengthening and restoring marriages, for such a time as this. Everything begins with the marriage, right? The family begins at the marriage, the church begins at the marriage, the garden started with the marriage, right? And covenant, so I believe that God is doing something beautiful in our marriages, and I would love to grow with you as wives so that we can contribute to the work that God is already doing. I am a firm believer that when we see God moving in a certain way, when we see him doing something, we partner with him in what he's doing. We don't try to do our own thing and try to invite him to bless it, but we notice what is it that he's already blessing, what is it that he's already doing, and we partner with it, and I believe that this is a season where he's blessing and strengthening and restoring marriages. So I invite you for this journey with me, this 40 days with me, to become better wives and to contribute to what he's already doing. Okay, so I've done this book a few times. Every time I've done it with a friend or a group of friends. So the author suggests that we do it in groups so that we can exchange information, so that we can exchange revelations, so that we can exchange whatever we want to exchange, right? It's just better with a friend. Wouldn't you agree with me that life is just better with friends? So anyways, every time that I have done it, it's been transformational for me in one way or another. Okay, so the first time I did it, I think it was about 5 years ago. It was very significant because I had the revelation that my marriage is not about me, and it's not about me being happy in it. It's about me partnering with God to continue doing the work that he has intended through my marriage and through the union of me and my husband. So things that used to really bother me about my husband suddenly didn't bother me anymore. And it's not because he changed, but it's because my perspective changed, and it's because I changed. So it was very significant. And then every other time that I did it, I had little things that were revelational to me that made a difference as well. Okay, so it doesn't matter if you've done it before or not. It's just a beautiful way for us to grow together as wives. Okay, so this is how it works. The book has 40 devotionals. Okay, and the idea is to do one every day. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I'm going to try to do one per day during this season because I'm here with you. I have never been able to do one per day. Sometimes I read one and then it takes me a couple of days to do the homework because the really, really powerful revelations happen during the homework, right? When we are sitting with Jesus, just pressing in for answers and for more of who we are really, as women, as wives. How did we grow up? What made us to be the way that we are? And there is so much gold in those times, so I don't like to rush myself through it, and I don't want you to feel rushed either. This isn't about checking a box. This is about truly growing together as wives, as women, as mothers, as lioness that God is raising for such a time as this. Okay, so anyways, why this book was written. This is pretty much like her introduction, and she says that it was written because women get married with dreams and hopes and aspirations of feeling fulfilled in the most intimate of human relationships, marriage, right? And if you're married, if you should be, right, if you're here, but you could be here to become a good wife before you even marry too. I mean, it's up to you. But anyways, if you're married, you know that this is absolutely true, right? That is our hope and our dream before we come into marriage. And then how many of you know that a little bit into the marriage, a little bit into the relationship, we begin to realize that the dream and ideas that we had were really only in our head, right? And we have choices, right? Are we going to respect and love our husbands well for who they are, or are we going to begin to complain, and are we going to begin to try to fix them and control every outcome so that it comes out the way that we want it to begin with, right? And I have met way too many women, and I have been one myself, that have fallen into the trap of the second choice. Okay, so I would love for us to be able to just respect and continue to love our husbands, and doing our part that will motivate them to do theirs, right? So our hearts is not, okay, I'm doing my part so that you do yours. My heart is, I'm doing my part because that is being obedient to what God has called me to do and be, right? And him doing his part is a consequence of it, right? And now, mind you, I'm not talking about abusive marriages with violence and aggression and abuse. I'm talking about normal marriages, okay? And this is not obviously for women who are in those types of abusive situations. Please look for help. And this is also not professional counseling. This is none of that, okay? This is us women getting together to grow together, one learning from each other to become better wives. That's all it is. Okay. All right. So continuing in the introduction, I love this part that she says on, I don't even know what page this is because it has numeral, like Roman numerals. But when I learned that God in the Bible described wives as the exact same word as he uses for the Holy Spirit, I started to understand what God intended for his daughters who choose marriage. When I realized that God has given us all a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline, and not one of timidity, 1 Timothy 1:7, I started experiencing the privilege of being a wife, as opposed to the drudgery of being one. I love that because that was exactly what happened to me the first time that I read this book, right? I understood what a privilege it is to be a wife. I understood what a privilege and what an honor it is to be that helper for my husband. It's not a helper in the sense that, he needs help doing his laundry and he needs help doing, cleaning the floors. No. We are the helper in the sense that we help them become everything God created them to be. They were incomplete before us, and now we came and we completed them. And because of that, we are able to help them become everything God has intended for them to be. How beautiful is that? What a privilege for us to be that to our husbands, right? And that is our calling, and that is God's commandment for us wives, and that is the privilege that he has separated for us, so I absolutely love that, and I understood that there needed to be a shift in focus in me. Like, I needed to shift my focus and my perspective in order to do marriage well, in order to love my husband well, in order to respect him well, unconditionally, and in order to fulfill the role that God has given me as a wife. So it says right here, it's still in the introduction, what is amazing in this transformation came not by my husband's actions, but by my own change in focus. Instead of paying attention to his inadequacies and perceived failures, I realized the truth that people can only really control their own behavior. When we focus on our behavior as we walk through our circumstances, instead of emphasizing other people's failures and shortcomings, we create changes that are effective and that affect our relationship in the long run. I absolutely love that. So that's what I invite you all to do. As we're doing this, okay, and it's called the respect dare for a reason. These are dares. These are things that are not easy, right? These are things that are going to dare us to go into a level that we are not yet. Okay, so it doesn't matter how deep we are, it doesn't matter how amazing we are, it doesn't matter how great of a wives we are. There is always more freedom, there is always more love, there is always more to learn, right? Until Jesus comes back and we are in the glory with him, there is always more, right? So it doesn't matter at what level we are, God invites us to the next level, and going deeper to the next level is always a dare, right? It's never something super easy. So it says here, we must actively dare to pry our feelings off of control, our fingers off of control, release our fears and step into the unfamiliar, trusting God each step of the way. We dare to dream, we dare to love, we dare to guard our hearts, and we dare to no longer wrap up our identities in the wonderful but sinful people in our lives. We dare to take our sense of self from God's opinion of us. We dare to obey his word, and we dare to let go of the comfortable habits that do not work for us. We dare to risk being changed. We dare to trust God without knowing what the outcome will be. So again, I invite you to dare. I invite you to not, it's not that we don't care what the outcome is that we're doing regardless of it, okay? So we're doing it because we're being obedient, not because we're looking for the outcome. I invite you to go into this season of this 6 weeks there, really focused on your own behavior. Okay, what can you change? How can you grow? How can you become better? How can you take responsibility for your behavior and for your thoughts and for your feelings and for your action and grow from there? Okay, that's what I'm inviting you to. Okay, and I guarantee you that is going to make you a better wife. That is going to make you a better person. That is going to make you a better friend. Okay. So am I inviting you into just this journey because I'm so perfect? No, on the contrary, I'm inviting you to this journey because there is always more growth for me. And I understand that as much as I grow, there is always more for me to grow. I'm inviting you into this journey with me because I am the opposite of very perfect. I'm very imperfect, but in my imperfection, God has met me. God has encountered me, and he has given me revelations that have changed my life. So because of that, I invite you to come with me into this journey of the respect dare. So let's try to do once a day, but if I don't show up once a day and you are able to continue your once a day, please go ahead and just wait for the next video. Okay. All right. So subscribe to the channel, put your little, there is like a little bell thingy for you to get notifications. Let your notifications for this channel to be on, so that way you are able to get the next video when it's recorded. And also subscribe to my love letter, the newsletter in my blog, so that on my website, so that way whenever there is emails coming out, you will get it as well. Okay. All right, so tomorrow we're coming in for the first challenge number 1, which is, well, it's actually dare, right? Dare number 1, which is expectations. So stay tuned. All right, I love you. Have a wonderful day.